I know I look like a scurf, but I'm gonna put together a quick video here to give you an update on what happened or didn't happen during the Spring Gobbler season. I did have a pretty good run of it. Genevieve had a great time. We're still motivated for next year, but unfortunately it ended without either one of us getting our first Spring Gobbler with a crossbow. There's always next year, right? We actually have more turkey hunters in Pennsylvania than we have turkeys. Think about that. It's pretty pressured. You know, we're a pretty pressured state here in Pennsylvania. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. I've killed a Spring Gobbler once before. I can do it again. I can do it again. Someone is unhappy or happy. I don't even know what that means. And that's another thing about Spring Gobbler. I have trouble with calling because I don't really understand what turkeys are trying to say. So how can I try to say it right? I've got to read up on that and continue to practice. It's an all-year thing, not just a March and April thing getting ready for May. So I will work on that in the meantime. Maybe do some videos about it. Who knows? But for today, I'm going to wander around in the field, work on some apple trees. I'm going to wander out into the woods, work on some shooting lanes. That's pretty neat. And I'm going to, while I'm doing that, play you some videos and give you the history of what happened during Spring Gobbler this year. Caught in the act. Round 2, huh, kiddo?
Yep.
We are headed back out for, what are we looking for?
Spring Gobbler.
Spring Gobbler. Now that is some sort of bird. I am told I have not seen such a bird yet in the Spring Gobbler woods.
I saw one once or twice.
Yeah. So last time I was joking with Genevieve about how my crossbow was dead on and I was so accurate in the woods and all that kind of thing, in the field and backyard in the old crossbow range. And then Genevieve goes out and shows off her effective Spring Gobbler turkey calling.
I don't know how effective it was, but I did something right because we got about 6 gobblers to show up at one point.
She had lots and lots of gobblers and a hen and miscellaneous turkeys, unidentified genders of turkeys show up. She had everything. I didn't see anything, and you saw all kinds of stuff, huh?
Yep.
So I've been working on that video. Very impressed with that. Apparently her turkey calling is superior to mine because I didn't even get I think I got one. I had one gobbler come in, but it ended up going to her.
Oh, he's a big one.
We're going to give it another go this morning. You got any change of plans? There is a little bit of change of plans this time, huh?
Today we're bringing out a Jake decoy, so hopefully we can get that group of gobblers to show up and beat them up.
If you can get some Jake decoy abuse on video, that'll be awesome.
I will do my best.
So that'll be cool though. I think that actually might have made a difference last time if we'd have had a Jake decoy there to inspire those gobblers just to come a little bit closer maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Set, Genevieve?
Yep.
Are you getting your snacks?
My snacks are already in there.
Bunjie Jr. and a nice old case there.
Surprise, it's just a case. No, okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing in the case. I'll have to go back and get your crossbow.
I got a driver's license. And I waxed it up good, so it should be right.
So it'd be all right in this rainy weather that was a little rainier than what we were expecting. It's supposed to quit though, right?
Yeah.
That's awful bright, but I'm finally set up long before sunlight. The sun is not up yet. I'm gonna see how this works. I set up in a different spot. I actually had to walk in and get this bench. Remember the benches that I like so much. The coast is clear. Just a light rain this morning. I can't hear Genevieve calling, so I ought to stop worrying about that and thinking about that. Or just break down and go hunt it with her in the same blind. Maybe that's what I should do. She asked me if I wanted to hunt in the same blind. I said, what would you rather do, 1 or 2 blinds? And she said, 2. And I'm like, okay, we'll do 2 blinds. So that's what we're doing. She did so well. She uncocked a crossbow herself last time. She's got that thing figured out way beyond what I am able to do. Really what that tells me is not that there's a problem with that crossbow, of course, because she's been successful with it and she loves it to death. That's not what it is. It's that you get comfortable with things, maybe in a rut almost, but you get comfortable with certain things and you're unwilling to change. That's what I see in myself. And that's really kind of what I see with this crossbow now with the Scorpyd. There's a lot of things about the original Bunjie that this crossbow has. A lot of things that carried over nicely, including that scope. It's working so well on it. I have it sighted in right out to 50 yards. I haven't moved the target out to 60 yards yet, but I'm confident it's on at 60 yards. And we'll work on that in the backyard here one of these days. But this crossbow has a lot of features like the rope cocking, stuff like that, that I was able to carry over from one crossbow to another. So that was kind of nice. But there's some new things that you got to get used to. There's new differences with this crossbow, just like there would be with any crossbow. And I think that this whole quest for a successor to Bunjie, this whole opportunity that I had this spring to go look at new crossbows and try out a couple and do all these different things, really convinced me of that any of those crossbows, there's different crossbows for different people, there's no question about that, but any of those crossbows, if you're committed to that crossbow and you work with that crossbow, you can make it work. And this is a good example of that. Until I looked at Scorpyd online in those videos, remember that? It was like during that video, I never considered myself a Scorpyd fan. Like, I wouldn't go hunt with a Scorpyd. They weren't on my list to go try when I started that whole process. My list kind of evolved as I was looking at them online, as I learned more about them. This whole crossbow series of looking at these things, I really shouldn't have done this. Because now I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is the crossbow I'm going to buy. There's a lot of things about these crossbow companies too that they don't tell you on the websites. They don't even tell you the draw weights sometimes. They don't tell you a lot about the arrows that they're shooting, or that the arrows that they use to get the speeds that they're shooting. Some of these manufacturers are using arrows that they don't even sell you with the crossbow. They're getting a speed with an arrow that's not even one that comes with the crossbow. I don't like that. That I don't like. But if you give me the information, and if I can digest the information and make sense of it, then I'm okay with it, as long as I have the information. But you got to have that sort of truth in what you're giving the consumer, I think. This one, I really like the fact this was 375 grain arrows, 420 feet per second. You give me that, I can do the math from there and figure out what my broadheads are going to do on it, what kind of speeds I can expect to get. And I'm a little over 400 feet per second with a 150 grain broadhead. So that's pretty sweet. I really do like how this crossbow, check this out, I'm going to flip this around. Look how that crossbow just sits in my lap. It looks just like the original Bunjie, doesn't it? Actually, it looks nothing like the original Bunjie, does it? Reverse limbs, that string coming all the way back there, that nice quiet safety, very similar to the safety on Bunjie. Very quiet if you don't flick it. If you flick it, it makes noise. If you get used to moving it slowly, you don't have a problem with that. That Excalibur scope on here, you guys had told me go ahead and use that. You've given me permission. I don't feel like a complete heel, like a traitor, using a different scope on a different crossbow, different manufacturer's scope. That Tacticam fits right on there, nice, no problems with that. The video seems to look pretty good, although the video on those Tacticams is showing those little rubber fingers there on the end. Look at that Tripan broadhead. Rage, baby. That's Rage. I'm a rageaholic. But yeah, we got this bad boy all spiffed up there. I think that scope is turned down to about 395 or something like that. It was actually, here's a difference. Here's a difference. Interesting. You guys will find this interesting. I don't think I'm interrupting any turkeys or anything. They're not going to hear me because there's none around. I hope she's hearing some. I haven't heard anything or seen anything. But there's enough rain and moisture in the air that the sound is not carrying, because I can't even hear her call. With the original Bunjie, when I went from 100 grain to 150 grain broadheads, it really didn't make any difference. The Rage shot the same with those 20-inch arrows on there, whether I was using 100 grain or 150 grain. Now they shot different, I had to sight in for them. But when I used the field point and then switched to the broadhead, it didn't make any difference. So if I used 100 grain field point and 100 grain broadhead, there goes a hen. I was wrong. There goes a hen. We're gonna have to have turkey talk later on. I wonder why she was running down through there. I wonder if I got that on tape. Yep, she's still down here. Ooh. Let's see if we can zoom in with the phone. Oh, look at that. My first turkey footage of 2021. She was bucking. I bet she saw this decoy and did not like it. One bit. Okay. Maybe I should stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking. Look at me. I'm hunting Spring Gobbler. Now I'm hunting woodchucks. You have to love Pennsylvania's fluorescent orange requirements. They make sense, I get it. But if I'm going to shoot a woodchuck, gotta have an orange hat on. Not a problem. Got one right in the bag. Alright, you may have noticed that I am outside the blind. I am going to take the Scorpyd here for a little walk. Not going in the direction of Genevieve. I'm actually going to go in the opposite direction and sort of make a little loop. If I see a woodchuck or something, I've got my orange hat with me. I will throw my orange hat on and maybe take a little poke at a woodchuck and see what we can do. But other than that, I'm just going to go for a little walk, see if the spring vegetation is up yet, see if the wild leeks, the wild ramps are up yet. Maybe I can get a little bag full of those and make a little dish for Mother's Day coming up. I'm gonna take a little break from the turkey hunting videos and give you a little update on how I'm making out here today, live in the Kingdom of Bunjie, the original Kingdom of Bunjie. Can you believe that? Look at this tree, man. This is what gets you excited about stuff. If you read my book, the Death by Bunjie Crossbow story, you know that I kind of thought the Kingdom of Bunjie was lost to me and was no more. However, things change, times change. Plans don't go as planned, that kind of thing. And whatever, you know, make the best of what we got. That's really the moral of that story. It's an ever-evolving story and will be the subject of future books. If you haven't checked out the first one, make sure you read that. Amazon.com. You can go to deathbybunjie.com, check it out. But anyway, more importantly, check out this apple tree. Like, this thing is loaded. I'll try and get some footage of that, but this thing is just loaded. I'm hanging my phone in the tree here on a dead branch to listen to podcasts, and I got my coat hanging there because I'm getting a little sweaty, but this thing is just loaded. And I looked around. If this is going to have apples, I'll have to look up and see what variety this is and when those apples would fall, because that will tell me with pretty good certainty when the deer would be in here, right? That would be very important to know. But if you look up here, up in the field a little bit, look at that multiflora rose right there. Oh, that's actually autumn olive. I don't like autumn olive. Of course, that is a an invasive species, so it's bad stuff. But you can tuck a little blind right in there. Ooh, I think that would be a nice little spot for a blind. And check it out. It's precisely 20 yards from this tree. How perfect is that? Can't get better than that. And if we look down the hill behind me, now this guy right here, he probably isn't going to produce much. He's struggling. We can look it up and figure out what it is. I'll look at the variety of this, but I doubt this guy's going to produce apples. He probably won't have any leaves, may not even make it through the season. I'll inspect the trunk, see if it got ringed or something by rabbits, or if we got something underground. Maybe there's something I can do with it, fertilizer, who knows. I'll look it over and see what we got. Spraying, I can still spray. But if we look down the hill, this guy right here, I just want to show you this dude. This is a big tree. It's got the sparse leaves on it. Not the best looking, but man, it's got apples. It's got all kinds of little apples on it. And this tree is precisely 30 yards from that multiflora rose up there, wherever we were looking. So I could actually, and I'll look at the other trees, I haven't really looked at the rest of this orchard, but there's enough multiflora rose around here, if you look, where I can set up a variety of different blinds, setups, tuck them in there, get the deer used to them, and whatever trees might produce this year, get a decent angle on them, maybe at an angle where you've got like a 20 and a 40 yard shot, depending on which trees the deer frequent. But this one is real encouraging. I'm pretty excited about that. That's a good looking tree right there. Back to the turkey hunting.
Here we be.
Now that's my kid right there. That is a second generation crossbow hunter. You got a name for that crossbow, do you?
This is Bunjie Jr.
Indeed it is. How cool is that? So, Genevieve, I told her we're going to have to get her own binoculars because when she wears mine, she makes me feel fat. And just come back next weekend and shoot our bonus gobblers next weekend. That's the plan. We're going to shoot 2 today, and then we'll shoot 2 next weekend, too.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, that completes my morning just in time. It's raining. It's going to rain the rest of the day. We have had a rainy Memorial Day weekend here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. 100-year-old apple tree, however, lives on. Look at that thing. I just got done trimming that, a whole bunch of dead stuff on it. And I think I know what was wrong with it. I wrote that tree off as dead. In fact, I literally wrote it off as dead in that book, The Death by Bunjie Crossbow Story. You can see a fresh tree in there, okay, that's growing. Another one there, another one there. Ooh, another one right there. Got a nice little orchard going here, another one there. So I got 5 total trees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total trees, including the 100-year-old apple tree, which is looking pretty good and was loaded with blossoms. Got apples this year? Wow. If I have apples over there and I have apples back here, I got it made for the Pennsylvania crossbow season, right? The 43 days of awesome. Ever evolving. Everything about the Death by Bunjie crossbow story continues to evolve. Let me know if you are interested in me doing a video about what my fall hunting plans are here on the Kingdom of Bunjie, if you are interested in that. I'll do a walk around and do like a vlog or something and talk about that stuff. I might do it. If you guys are interested in that and you would find that interesting, I will do it. But I have to pack up, get out of here before I get rained upon. Until next time, all hail Bunjie.